Street Nasheed right here in Los Angeles, making it do what it do, man. Y'all check out Black Authentic Truth. Get some real good game on YouTube. Black Authentic Truth, man. Check it out, man. Real good information.
Now, when it comes to this light skin versus dark skin, it plays out in our community also. But who created it though? Who created that idea? Well, we're reading right here. It started on a plantation. When it comes to a brother and sister, right, that's light-skinned, that's a lighter shade of brown, a lot of times how we look at them is that they are mixed with something. A brother or a sister that is mixed, that is less light-skinned, as we know it, they're probably looked at different on both sides of the family. They're not white enough on the white side, they're not dark enough or black enough on the black side. But when it comes to black people, we get this train of thought from what? We get it from our oppressor. That's where we get this train of thought from. Like, we ostracize brothers and sisters that are quote unquote mixed. And I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to the mixed thing. We ostracize quote unquote brothers and sisters that are not dark enough. On the flip side, on the plantation, all the way through, the government, job employments, being on television, they usually use a lighter skinned black person. Now they're starting to get more, they're trying to throw in more diversity. You're starting to see reporters that are dark skinned, black women that are dark skinned reporters on television. You're starting to see more of that. I'm not talking about acting. I'm talking more about like, commercials, brochures, news channels. That's on the flip side. Like, when it comes to this society, when it came to your white Americans, they would rather hire and choose a lighter shade of brown person, a person like in between, than the darkest of our people. But we have this thing in our head that we're mixed. Now I'm getting on that. Mixed. What is mixed? Where does that even come from? You had the one drop rule. Anybody know what the one drop rule is? The one drop rule, white people basically said during the time of slavery, they said, well, if a person they have parents from different ancestries, whatever parent is on the lower level or the lower caste of the two parents, that's what they are. So by default, white people conquered the Native Indians, they conquered the Mexicans, they conquered black people. So anytime white people would mix, no matter who was what, they would always say that the one drop rule, since your father may be white and your mother Mexican, you're Mexican. Your father may be black or white, and vice versa, you're black, because this is the ancestry that is lower than the other one, the white one. The white would always be on top. White is always right. That was the attitude with that one drop rule. But that's where we get it from. That's where black people get that idea that you're mixed. If you're mixed, if you got a little bit of black in you, you black. That's not true. It's not true, right? That's not true. Now, when you look at it like this, the seed of a man, that's what the child is. No matter where he lays at, no matter what the woman is, because, in our community, you got black people that say, well, my great-great-great-grandmother was Native Indian. I'm Native Indian. But my great-great-great-grandfather was a Negro. Well, then you are a Negro. You're not Native Indian. Think of it like this in a simple term. You have trees that grow in America, right? Maybe a fruit tree, an apple tree, and it has seeds. You take these seeds from this apple tree in America and you plant this seed in China, it's still going to grow up to be an apple tree. Just because you plant the seed in different soil doesn't take away what the seed is. The seed, a la sperm, comes from the man, your father. You are what your father is. Could you imagine how confusing that would have been in ancient times if you was to say that I'm mixed? Even now, look, think about how confusing that is. And I'm not talking about, this is not to down brothers and sisters that think that are actually, that do have a black father or white mother. This is not to down them, but we live in a society that is all about colorism. So we don't think in these terms. We don't think like, oh, my father was this, that's what I am. We think in color. That's how we think, in color, because that's how we came up from slavery, looking at color, obsessed with the color of the skin, and not really understanding what the nationality is, and that the father that holds the seed holds the nationality. We're obsessed with color to the point where we think how the people that hated us and were racist towards us, that's how they thought. So we think like that too. So we always think that we're mixed naturally. And black people wanted to get away from being black. So we'll say, I'm mixed with Irish on my mama's side, and this on my daddy's side, and this on my mama's side. And we have four, you have a black person that'll say they mix with 4 different things. But you see how confusing that would be for in ancient times, for a person to say, I'm mixed with this, I'm mixed with that, I'm mixed with that. That term is new. That term is from the West, from westernized thinking, America. Mixed. The one drop rule. Mixed. Why? Because that's what they saw. They saw color. So how can we determine that these people are not us? Well, if they have any pigmentation in their skin, they not us. The one drop rule. We white is all right, but black is whack. Brown is down. Black and brown bring a frown. White is all right though. So any easy way to do that is just say, well, if you mix with them, then that's what you are. You're not one of us. You're not going, hell no, you're not. You said what? Your father is slave master what? Jackson? Oh yeah, I know, but your mama black. You're not a part of this community. You're supposed to be over there with them. That was that one drop rule. Ancient cultures, they recorded the lines of the father. That's why when you look at ancient Egypt and you look at these different ancient cultures, these family lines are recorded through the bloodline of the father. If you was going to say, oh, he's this, his mother is this, his father is this, he's mixed, then how would a line of succession and inheritance be passed on? And I'm not taking away from no relationships. Black people have, black people is number one people that like to mix with everybody. So we're mixed. We have relationships with all kind of people, a lot of different black families. So I'm not saying it like that, but you have your relationships. It is what it is. Your family is what it is today, but you are what your father is. There's no such thing as being mixed. It doesn't even make sense from a common sense level or even a biological level, because the seed came from your father. So case in point, which would make a lot of black people upset, is Bob Marley was actually a European white man. One of his sons is quoted as saying he's not black, right? But Bob Marley's father was a white Scottish man. You get that? So, but we're caught on color, black people, because white people is caught on color. We're not caught on who is your father, what is his nationality. We're caught on, okay, one drop rule. If you got black in him, he black. But you really are what your now. If a sister, let's just say, I don't know what, Eve or Serena Williams is a good example. If a sister has a baby by a white man, of course they're going to come out with some pigmentation, but those children are the seed of their father. They are Caucasian in the blood, in the spirit, all of that. And so that's what I mean with anytime you look at brothers and sisters that have some pigmentation and they might have parents from different ancestry, just sum it up like this, man. You are whatever his father or her father is, that's what she is. That's what he is. But black people got to get off of this colorism thing, because it's niggas that's light, almost look like they could be Caucasian, but they black people. They got a father that's chocolate black. Case in point, Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin got he damn near like redheaded and got freckles. But I bet you never seen no white man jump like Blake Griffin. Ever. You know what I'm saying? So we can't really look at color to determine who's black and who's not. A lot of these this is pushed by a lot of you conscious blackity black Negroes that are just so black power and, you know, so African. And I'm gonna get to that African thing too with this next story. But that comes from a lot of brothers and sisters like that. That's just in that conscious community. Like I said, they'll say like somebody like me is not 100% black. Not 100. Even if I can trace that my forefathers are black men, because of the shade of my skin, that's where that colorism comes in. And you even hear it in our community. Our community is all about colorism. We got the joke where we like, oh, that's some light skin shit. That's some dark skin shit. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language. It's a family show, excuse my language. But to get my point across, you know, we have that in us where we say, well, that's some light skin stuff. You doing some light skin stuff right now. Are you doing this some real dark skin stuff? Even the thing with the Air Force Ones, the white Air Force Ones versus the dark ones. Wearing dark ones is grimy. You own a different type of time. Wearing light skin ones, you know, you nice, you know, you kind, you got manners and all of that. That's the same with that colorism. That comes all the way from the Willie Lynch letter. That comes from slavery. I ain't gonna say the Willie Lynch letter. Let's not say that. This is just to highlight some of the things that actually happened with us. There's a lot of stuff in this Willie Lynch letter that we actually do to this day. Now, whether it was right or wrong, or whether it was real or not, you cannot deny that this stuff is actually happening in our community. And colorism is one of them.